Can you tell me what is the last question that you guys have noted down and what is the topic that we are discussing last time? What is the last question that you have noted down? Anyone of you?
I do have, let me see this one. The last questions I have noted, that is, what does Vault internal safe contains?
What is vault internal safe contains? Okay, before that.
It's about the directory mapping. How do we
It's
do
about
the directory mapping?
directory mapping. Okay, so we discussed about LDAP integration and directory mappings. Right. Note down some other questions. Please note down quickly. Okay, there are a lot of questions that I'm going to discuss now. What are different policies available in CyberArk? What are different policies available in CyberArk? Next question. What is dual control? What is dual control password access approval policy? What is dual control password access approval policy? What is dual control password access approval policy? Next question. What is check-in checkout policy? What is check-in checkout, or this we can also call it as exclusive access? You can note it down. What is check-in checkout or exclusive access policy? What is check-in checkout or exclusive access policy? Next question. What is one-time password policy? What is one-time password policy? Next question. What is LOEPB transparent connections policy? What is LOEPB transparent connections policy? Next question. How will you enable password policies? How will you enable password policies on privileged accounts? How will you enable password policies on privileged accounts? So how will you enable password policies on privileged accounts? In the sense, in the policies we have password management. There we have two password policies called required password change for every X days, required password verification for every X days. So required password change for every X days based on the value that the team needs, 30 days, 60 days or 90 days password policy. CPM will rotate the passwords. Next question. What is audit retention period policy? What is audit retention period policy? Next question. How will you enable a dual control policy? How will you enable dual control policy? Next question. How will you grant permissions? How will you grant permission? How will you grant permission for an approvers when dual control policy is enabled? How will you grant permission for an approvers when dual control policy is enabled? So answer for this question is, how will you grant permission for an approver means on safe level we have an option called workflow. In workflow we have level 1 and level 2. Okay, so if we specify a member with level 1 or level 2 permission, then he will become an approver when dual control is enabled. Okay, so this we have all discussed in our previous session. What is one-time password policy, check-in check-out policy, dual control policy, LOEP with transparent connections, etc. So these are all the questions that you need to understand what is the purpose of that policy. Okay, it's not like a definitions. Just understand the concept, what is the flow of that particular policy. Next. How will you override? How will you override the dual control password policy? How will you override the dual control password policy? Very, very important question. I'm not sure whether I discussed this in our session during the dual control or not. How will you override the dual control password policy? How will you override the dual control password policy in the sense when dual control password policy is enabled? When dual control password policy is enabled, whenever the users are requesting for access, whether it is show, retrieve or connect, okay, the request will go for an approver and approver has to approve the request. This is dual control, right? So there is an option in CyberArk, even when dual control is enabled, even when dual control password policy is enabled, it should override, means the request should not go to an approver, means we are bypassing that policy, we are overriding that policy. So that is also possible in some cases. Okay, so let me share my screen and show you that quickly. On the safe level, hope you guys can able to see my screen.
Yep.
is not starting. I'll restart the IS services. Better I'll take a reboot of this server. So go to saves. In save members, let us say these member permissions, go to permissions, manage permissions. Okay. So in save permissions under workflow, there is an option called access safe without confirmation. Access safe without confirmation. So allow members to access an account in the safe without requesting confirmation. Means even when dual control password policy is enabled, if that user is having this permission, access safe without confirmation, as the name itself indicates, access safe without confirmation, means this will override the dual control policy. Means whenever a user requests for access for his account, whether show, copy or retrieve, it will not go for approver's approval. Directly they can able to view the password, or they can able to connect to their servers if they are having this permission, access safe without confirmation. Very, very important point. Interviews, if at all you are giving interview and the topic is discussing around this dual control policy, they may ask you, is there a way that we can bypass the dual control password policy? Means I don't want to go for an approval for an approval. Okay, is that possible? If yes, where will you enable this setting? Answer is, at safe level, we have an option called access safe without confirmation. If the user is having that permission access safe without confirmation, then the dual control password policy will be overridden. The request will not go for approval. Directly, he can able to access the server. Very, very important point. Right. So next question, note down. What are different types of reports available in CyberArk? What are different types of reports available in CyberArk? Next question. What are operational reports? What are operational reports? Next question. What are audit or compliance reports? What are audits or compliance reports? What are audit or compliance reports? Next question. What is privileged accounts inventory report? What is privileged accounts and inventory report? What is privileged accounts inventory report? Next question. What is applications inventory report? What is applications inventory report? Next question. What is privileged accounts compliance status report? What is privileged account compliance status report? Next question. What is entitlement report? So out of all these questions, this question is important. Okay, what is entitlement report? So in this report, we can see the user entitlements regarding the user is having access to so-and-so safe, so-and-so target servers with the privileges, that is list accounts, retrieve accounts or use accounts, etc. These are all the permissions, entitlements of an user we can see in the entitlement report. Next question. How will you generate activity logs? How will you generate activity logs report? How will you generate activity logs report? So how will you generate activity logs report? In the sense, just come to PWA reports, go to reports tab and select activity log, and based on the dates that if you want, or if you want a complete report, go ahead and generate the report directly. You can see all the privileged accounts inventory, sorry, all the privileged account activities that are happened on that particular accounts. You can see all the activities in the activity log report. Next question. What is license capacity report? What is license capacity report? Next question. How will you generate a safes list? How will you generate a safes list? So from Privatark, you need to go to tools, reports, and we can see a safes report there. Next question. How will you generate owners list? How will you generate owners list? It's nothing but a report, owners report. Next question. How will you generate active or inactive users report? How will you generate active or inactive users report? Next question. Is it possible to customize the reports? Is it possible to customize the reports? Is it possible to customize the reports? Yes, it is possible to customize, in the sense, for example, uh, if the organization needs a specific requirement, like in the reports they want to add some description column, okay, in any of the report, like privileged accounts inventory or whatever may be, if they want to add some name or description or a column, etc., yes, that is possible. That is called customization. So I have showed you, like in the administration tab options, we have report definitions. So there we have a grid lines. Okay, so there we can do the customization based on their requirement. This is a reports. Next question. How will you onboard? How will you onboard accounts in CyberArk? How will you onboard accounts in CyberArk? So how will you onboard accounts in CyberArk? In the sense, we can onboard manually or we can onboard using scripts. Okay, so manually we have seen how we have onboarded. First we need to have a safe, and then we need to have a platform, and then we need to have the target server address and privileged account name. and the password of that particular privileged account. We'll go to accounts tab and click on add account. We have to specify all these details. This is the manual method how we have done. So using Packly scripts, we can use PUU, password upload utility. Okay, so we need to prepare a CSV file, and then we need to run this password upload utility script which is a Packly script for onboarding. Or else we can also use REST API scripts for onboarding of accounts, bulk accounts into CyberArk. Okay. So during our discussion, we have not covered this what we call Packly password upload utility. Okay, so I have figured out the issue. We are on latest version. We are on 13.2 version on our lab. Okay, so I came to know that this password upload utility is not going to support with the versions of 12 and above. Okay, so 12 and above Packly script, that is password upload utility, is not compatible. Then you may ask me how we can onboard bulk accounts. Yes, we have a solution. So now I'm going to discuss that. So they have directly given an option in the UI itself. If I go to accounts tab, see for confirmation. So last time I used 10.10 version compatibility, 10.1, sorry, 10.x password upload utility that does it did not work, and I used 12 version, it did not work. Okay, and last weekend I tried with 11.7 as well, so that also did not work. Okay, so then I went to several docs and I observed that there is no specific password upload utility for this 12 and 13 versions. So instead of password upload utility, they have given directly in the UI for bulk onboarding of accounts. So see here, in the add account tab, if I drop down this, see here, there is an option called add accounts from file. Add accounts from file. So if I click on this, there is an option here, upload up to 10,000 accounts. Upload up to 10,000 accounts. Okay. Safe name, platform ID are mandatory. Other properties are required depending upon the platform policy. Accounts are created only for existing safes. You can create only target accounts, etc. Upload CSV file or drag and drop the CSV file. So download a sample CSV file. They have given us
Vishnu,
some
I got a question on this. So it's
yes.
in a way better, right? It's upgraded version. You don't have to go and run the Packly utility
Script.
to do that. As long as assuming that in the next job we land is going to be with this version, right? But if it was the earlier version, then basically we have to use that Packly utility or whatever that is, right? I don't think we need to go over that because we have a different software. In that case, is there any resource that you can share with us? Like
Yeah,
documents, links, or at least steps?
sure. I can share you the password
Yeah,
upload utility, how we need to execute the password
right.
upload
Just
utility.
as a backup, right?
Sure, definitely. So this
Thank you.
is going to be applicable to below 12 versions. So if your environment is, let us say 10.x or 9.x or 11.x versions, then
Mhm.
don't see this option like bulk uploading in the PVWA.
Right.
Then you can use that password upload utility script.
Yep.
But
Sure.
whatever the
Thank you.
process that we done so far related to password upload utility, the process remains same. Okay, so first we need to specify the vault address in the vault.ini file, and then we need to create a credential file in order to authenticate this package to the vault. And after that, in the conf.ini password upload utility conf.ini file, we need to specify our password file name, whatever we are going to execute. So these are the three main steps that are involved in the password upload utility, and we need to run the single command, that is password upload.exe space conf.ini, because in that conf.ini we have the password file specified. So once we run that, we can see the accounts are getting uploaded automatically. That is the steps. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to give you the document related to you, don't worry. Right, so download a sample file. Let us see what is the sample file. Example file. Let me copy it to outside of machine. So this is the sample file looks like. So in this username, address, safe name, platform ID, secret, that is password, automatic password management enabled, manual management reason, group name, logon domain name. Okay. So whatever the fields that are required, just keep those, and rest of the fields are not required for us. This automatic password management, group domain, logon domain, I'm deleting this. Now I'm preparing a file for us for onboarding the accounts. Delete. So these columns are not required, and these are required. Let us say I'll remove all this. This is a sample file, right? So I'm deleting these contents. I'll prepare RCSV file, what is required. So username, let us say we will onboard admin 4. Target server address, what is the target server address? I'll come back to this. 10.0.0.10 10.0.0.10 and .0.0.10. Okay, safe name, I think we can take it from this. Safe is Windows safe. Okay, platform ID. So where is this? Is our platform WinServe local accounts. Let us call this as password CyberArk 1. Okay, so now let us onboard some more accounts. Okay, so now I'm going to onboard these 22 accounts. Let us save this file. So copy this file to that machine. See, now we have only 7 accounts here. Okay. Search. These are all the accounts that are existing now. Admin 1, admin 2, admin 3, root Linux admin 1, and this root account. Okay. So now let us try to onboard the account. Go to the UI and just upload this CSV file. Add accounts from a file. Drag and drop the file. Accounts example CSV. Okay. I'm not going to change the file name. This file includes 19 accounts. Okay. So just click on upload. You cannot perform this task with an administrator user. Log on with a different user and try again. Okay. So administrator, we can't do it from the administrator account. So let us try with any Vault admin account. So in our case, I think Bikram user is a part of Vault admin. Let us try with that user. Okay, add accounts from a file, browser file. Okay, file includes 19 accounts. Click on upload. The file upload successfully, creating accounts. Okay, let's wait for a while. Accounts created successfully from accounts example.csv file. Okay, just refresh this page. See here, now we have 27 results for all accounts. See here, all accounts got onboarded from admin 4 to 22, I guess. So all accounts are onboarded within a single file. This is very easier. Instead of running those backly commands and scripts, preparing the config files, etc. So just prepare the sample CSV file according to our requirement and then just upload it. Clear? Any questions? So remember, this safe should exist. Okay. So before onboarding your privileged accounts, your safe should be existing in Vault. So let us say in your CSV file, if you are giving some different safe name, but that safe is not existing, then the accounts will not get uploaded. It will throw an error. Okay, safe does not exist. So you should have a safe before onboarding the accounts. That is one point that you have to take care. Safe should exist before onboarding the accounts. Right. So next question, note down. Did we note it down questions related to DR? Can you guys go back and check whether we have noted down questions related to DR? Yes or no?
I think we'll have.
We have noted down?
No.
No. Okay, fine. So please note down questions related to DR topic. What is disaster recovery in CyberArk? What is a disaster recovery in CyberArk? Next question. How will you set up disaster recovery environment? How will you set up a disaster recovery environment? So how will you set up disaster recovery environment means, so in live environments, in live projects, how they are going to set up this disaster recovery environment is, it will be in a separate data center, not in the production data center. So what will happen if we are going to put the disaster recovery in the same production data center? Any one of you. Let us say I'm going to deploy my disaster recovery vault in the same production data center. What will happen? Is that recommended? I would
I think
say
your if your data center is the entire data center come under some not working condition that could be natural or anything,
yes.
flooding or anything, right? So you're pretty much stuck.
Yes, if you are going to keep your disaster recovery environment in the same production data center, if something happens to the production data center, your DR will also be gone. So that's why CyberArk always recommends to keep this DR in a separate data center. So that's why we are calling it as a disaster recovery setup. Okay, it should be in a different data center. This is very, very important point. So how will you set up in the sense? Same. So we should meet the server specifications of the digital vault requirements, and then we install the digital vault. Followed by installing the digital vault, we need to install the disaster recovery software. So in order to install the disaster recovery software, we need to make sure DR user is enabled, and we have to set a password for the DR user from the production private R client. So once the DR user is enabled, install the disaster recovery software and then specify the replicate vault details, that is production vault details. Next question. What is the configuration file of a DR? What is the configuration file of DR? Any one of you? What is the answer? What is the configuration file of DR? So it's padr.ini. padr.ini. Next question. What does padr.ini file contains? What does padr.ini file contains? So that padr.ini file contains, we can see the failover mode, enable failover mode, enable DB sync, check retries count, check retries interval. These are the parameters. Okay, when you perform the DR drill, we need to make sure that enable failover mode is set to yes, enable database DB sync is set to yes, check retries count, by default it is 5 retries count, check retries interval, that is for every 5 minutes the data is going to be replicated. All these parameters we can see in the padr.ini file. Very, very important point. Okay. what does PIDR.ini file contains? Next question. What is the log file of a DR vault? What is the log file of DR vault? Answer is PIDR.log. So we have monitored this log during our DR activity. PIDR.log. Next question. Which user is responsible? Which user is responsible for replicating the data? Which user is responsible for replicating the data on DR site? Which user is responsible for replicating the data on DR site? Answer is DR user. Next question. What are the services? What are the services that will be up and running? What are the services that will be up and running during the replication on DR site? What are the services that are up and running during the replication on DR site? So what are the services that will be up and running? Any one of you? Is the private arc server will be up and running when replication is happening? I repeat again, is private arc server services will be up and running when replication happening?
No, we need to stop the
No.
server.
Yes. Okay. So what are the services that will be up and running is CyberArk Vault Disaster Recovery Service. CyberArk Vault Disaster Recovery Service. This service will be up and running during the replication. This service is responsible for replicating the data. Okay. Next question. How will you perform the DR tree or DR activity? How will you perform the DR tree? Very, very important questions. Okay. Interviewer, suppose if you are giving interviews, everyone will touch around this DR topic. Okay, they will ask you what is DR, how will you perform DR activity, what are the steps involved in DR activity, what is the configuration file, inside configuration file, what does enable failover mode means, okay, what is the check retries interval count means. You will have a number of questions like this. Very, very important topic. How will you perform DR drill in the sense? So we need to have a proper change in plan with a change request approval, and we need to prepare for a downtime. Just we need to make sure replication is happening till that time. Whenever you are performing the DR activity, make sure the full data is getting replicated onto the DR site, and then just stop the primary vault manually and monitor the PIDR.log file. In the PIDR log file, we can see like attempt to vault test availability failed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. After 5 times, you can see the messages like fail or process started. Okay. Disaster recovery service terminated. Private arc server is up and running. Fail or process completed successfully. Okay, these are the messages that you can see in the PIDR log when you perform the DR activity. Next question. This is related to DR. The reports we covered. Next question, note down. What is CyberArk? What is CyberArk backup replicate utility? What is CyberArk backup replicate utility? So with the help of CyberArk backup replicate utility, we can take the backup of vault data using this replicate software. We have seen already like par replicate.exe space vault.ini/logon from file. We have taken the full backup of vault onto the backup server using this replicate software. Next question. Which user is responsible? Which user is responsible for replicating the data? Which user is responsible for replicating the data using backup utility? Using backup utility. Answer is backup user. Okay, we have enabled this backup user when we executed this backup on our server. Backup user. Next question. How will you restore the vault data? How will you restore the vault data? Next question. Which user is responsible? Which user is responsible for restoring the data? What is the answer? Any one of you? Which user is responsible for restoring the data?
Is that operator user?
Yes,
Yeah.
operator user. DR is not for restoring. DR is for replication on the DR side. Okay, it's a replication user. I'm asking about restoring. So in our last session, we have restored the vault data. We deleted some file from the safe and we restored into the new target safe. So that is called restoration of data. So operator user is responsible for it. Next question. What are the commands? What are the commands for running backup and restoration? What are the commands for running backup and restoration? So you need to remember the commands. If it is replicating, par replicate.exe space wall.ini space logon from file, that is user.ini file / full backup. If it is restoration, it is par restore.exe. Instead of par replicate.exe, it is par restore.exe space wall.ini / logon from file, or you can directly specify operator username / what we call existing safe name. What is the safe that you want to restore / target safe name. Okay, you need to specify a target safe name, whatever the safe that you want. The file will get restored and stored in that new safe. That safe will be created automatically and the data will get restored onto that new safe. Okay, so usually this backup utility, we are not going to run it manually. Okay, so running this command every day, taking the backup onto the backup server is not a manual task. Okay, so what we can do is we can directly schedule the backup onto the backup server. Okay, so how to schedule is just go to task scheduler on a Windows machine on a backup server. On my screen, just look at here, task scheduler. Okay. So create a task. Okay, task name, let us say I'll call it as Cyberark backup. Cyberark backup. Triggers. Okay, when to trigger. So daily, let us say daily I want to take a full backup from start date and end date. Okay, on a schedule daily, weekly or monthly. It's up to you. Just click on OK. And actions. So here we need to specify that par replicate path where we are going to use that logon from file. Okay. I think we have run the backup from this server, Windows server. Fine. So here you just need to select that parreplicate.exe installer path. That's it. Okay. The task scheduler will be created. You must enter a task and at least one action. So here I am not able to browse that because we scheduled it. We run the backup from our Windows machine. So this is how to create a task scheduler. So once you create task scheduler, it will run automatically. You no need to run the commands manually. Okay, the one which I showed you is the to explain you the flow how the backup will work. Okay, the same command we will put it in the task scheduler and it will run automatically based on the time that we are going to schedule. This is a continuous process, but we will just monitor the pair replicate.log. The log file is pair replicate.log. So if we open that log, we can see the replicating saves from primary vault to this backup vault continuously. Next, what we discussed. Compatibility. Right. So I think these are the questions that we discussed. And in our last session, someone asked about patches related to CyberArk. Okay, so let me walk you through this. So in Google, just search with security bulletins. CyberArk will release patches based on the versions or based on the bugs that they have identified. So they call it as security bulletins. Okay, so this is security bulletins. Let me open this security bulletins. So it is routing us to this site. Yeah. So here, product security, these are different bulletins that are available so far. Okay, so they will name this ID as Cyberark 2406, 240504, something like this with an ID name. Okay, so let me open any of the patch. Yeah. So here, let us see Cyberark Bulletin 2403 article. So this is how the article looks like. They will give some article number and title of that bulletin and some explanation. If I scroll down here, see here, this is issued on January 22nd, recently 2024. Severity is high. Okay. Impact possible DLL injection attack. Okay. See here, affected products and versions. Product is privileged session manager self-hosted. So PSM, self-hosted version, all versions prior to version 14. So last week itself, we got a version 14. Okay. So now the current version that is available in market is 14 version. On our lab, we have done 13.2 version. After 13.2, directly 14 version is released. Okay, so now the latest version of CyberArk is 14. So what is saying? This security bulletin, it is affecting PSMs prior to 14 versions. Means the customers who are on versions less than 14 will get affected if they are using PSMs in their environment. So we need to take an action in their environment. So what is this bulletin and what actions they are suggesting us? See here, resolution. Upgrade to a patch version from the table below by downloading the patch from respective link and follow the instructions in our online documentation. If a patch is not available for your installed version, or if you want to move to the latest version available, upgrade your component according to version upgrade compatibility. So what they are saying, they have given some patches here. Okay, apply the patches. If they don't want to apply this patch, just upgrade the version. Upgrade the version in the sense that PSM, whatever the PSM that is existing in organizations, upgrade it to 14 version. Okay. See here, let us say so if your PSM is 14 version, no need of any action because they have already fixed it in the 14 version. Okay, So this patch will be applicable only to prior versions of 14. Let us say 12.6 and its patches version download link. So this patch is nothing but directly upgrade the PSM. Directly upgrade the PSM to a higher version. See here 12.6 or 12.6.9. So they are asking us to directly upgrade the patch. So this is the version that they have given 12.6.9. Okay, so if the customer is on this environment 12.6, they can upgrade it to 12.6.9. That is the latest version now they have given within the 12 version. So now they have to upgrade the version with 12.6.9. So download this software and then run the PSM installation on the same server, whatever the 12 version is installed. So this will upgrade the PSM to 12.6.9 and the bug will be fixed related to the DLL injection, whatever it is, whatever they are referring to. Clear? So like this, we have a different patches. So if you are part of customer, okay, you will have access to this customer community, CyberArk customer community. Then you will get notified on whenever the patches are released or whatever the communication enhancements related to CyberArk, you will get notified via email. And you need to apply these patches as well if the severity is high. Okay, so let me take some questions that okay, I got questions from DigiApricus. Right. The first question is, what other applications can CyberArk be integrated with? Example, SailPoint, Zira, etc. What other applications can CyberArk be integrated with? The answer for this question is yes. CyberArk supports different integration, various integrations. Example, we can integrate SailPoint with CyberArk. It is possible. We can integrate a service now, a ticketing tool with CyberArk. So using that service now, whenever we are requesting for passwords or requesting for access, if we integrate service now with CyberArk, when we put valid ticket, whether it is change incident or task ticket, it will authenticate to the ServiceNow tool, and if that ticket is valid, then only the user will get a request. So that integration is possible, and we have seen already the LDAP integration is possible, and other integrations like Tenable application integration. Tenable is for basically for scanning, okay, scanning of servers. So Tenable integration is possible. Yes, CyberArk supports different application. So in CyberArk docs, we will have a we have integrations. Let me say CyberArk integrations. So integration CyberArk. So please refer these integrations. Okay. Splunk, ArcSight. Okay, we can integrate with third-party tools like SIM solutions, etc. These are different integrations that CyberArk supports. Just have a look at this integrations tab. So SailPoint integration will also support. Let me search with SailPoint. We call it as scheme server integration. See here, manage privileged accounts and related objects with scheme endpoints. So these are the steps that are involved in that integration of SCIM with CyberArk. SCIM endpoints, how we are going to manage SCIM endpoints. First, how we will integrate SailPoint, and then how we are going to manage the SailPoint accounts. I request you to just refer these docs. The next question, can CyberArk be in the cloud? Yes. We call it as pass on cloud. Pass on cloud. Whatever the training that we discussed so far is privileged self-hosted. Okay. Pass self-hosted. CyberArk is also CyberArk also supports cloud. We can deploy CyberArk on AWS. We can deploy CyberArk on Azure as well. Okay. The process is same. Either you can install manually or you can install via images. Okay. AMI images, whether you are deploying it in AWS or cloud, CyberArk will give us a templates in the form of images. So on the cloud servers, on the Vault, let us say if you are installing Vault, directly deploy that AMI image and the Vault will get installed on the cloud environment. CyberArk supports cloud as well, but the softwares are different. Okay. You need to get an AMI images and then deploy the CyberArk components on the cloud environment. The next question is, how are the endpoints, computers, and applications going to utilize CyberArk? What is the workflow? Please give an example. How are the endpoints, computers, and applications going to utilize CyberArk? Can you please elaborate this question?
Hey, Vishnu, that was my question. So,
Yeah.
we studied that that's 1 to 40 or 45 ratio in terms of human identity to the machine identities, right? So I'm sure there are going to be privileged accounts in end user machines or routers and whatnot, right? So how is that handled? I don't know if we have already covered that, but we don't want a hard-coded user ID password in any instrument. It has to be encrypted, right? How does that work? Is that still a part of general CyberArk implementation that will be, working? That I think that's what I was referring to.
I got it. Okay. So in the CyberArk, so if at all you want to manage any endpoints or applications, CyberArk has different plugins available. So that we call it as platforms. Okay, you just need to onboard those endpoints. Let us say you are saying as Cisco routers or VMware devices. Okay, so go to CyberArk specific platforms. If at all you want to manage network devices or applications, onboard those privileged accounts into CyberArk, assigning to that particular platform. Okay, and then apply policies according to their requirement, password policies or whatever the dual control policies that they want, so that we are securing their privileged accounts in CyberArk, and they are going to use our CyberArk product for accessing their network devices. So they will log into CyberArk PVWA, they can able to see their network devices, and they will click on connect from here, and they will log on to their switches or routers. Our task is to manage them securely and to make sure that the connections are establishing successfully or not from CyberArk. Let me show you those platforms. So if you go to platform management, Okay, so these are different device types. Let us say Control F, Cisco. See here, Cisco router via SSH network device. So if you want to onboard, if you want to secure privileged accounts that are associated to this endpoint, Cisco routers and devices, you need to onboard those accounts, those privileged accounts into CyberArk as tagging to this platform. Okay, right now this platform is inactive. Make it to just active. Now this platform is active. Save it. And then onboard the accounts tagging to this platform and assign policies according to their requirements, like whether they need check-in check-out policy, dual control policy, or password rotations for so and so period of time. You just need to assign those policies. Clear? Bhuvan? Hello? Bhuvan, are you there? Any questions? Okay, I'm moving on to the next question. What are the most common changes, upgrades, or OS upgrades? So basically, we will not perform the OS upgrades. So let us say CyberArk is not supporting nowadays. The CyberArk is not giving any support on Windows 2012 servers. Windows 2012 servers. Suppose if the customer has already deployed this product on Windows 2012 servers, the CyberArk is not going to support them. Okay, they need to go for version OS upgrade. They need to go for 2016 or 2019 servers. Then only CyberArk will support for such clients. So that is OS upgrade. And coming to CyberArk upgrades, CyberArk will release the upgrades based on the bugs or enhancements that they make. Okay, so if they say, let us say just now we have seen one bulletin related to PSM. Okay, they are saying we have to upgrade PSM to higher version if it is less than 14 version. So in that case, we need to follow the upgrade and we need to upgrade that particular component. So these are the common based on the security bulletins that we are going to get. We need to upgrade our CyberArk solutions as well. The next question, how much PowerShell scripting knowledge is required? So answer to this question is, it's based on the role that you are going to be assigned on the projects. In CyberArk, we can say like we have different roles. I can call it as example I am giving an implementation engineer role, a support engineer role, or a developer role. I repeat, implementation engineer role, support engineer role, or developer role. So if you are looking for a developer role, then definitely you need to have a PowerShell scripting knowledge, because in the developer role, you are going to develop a scripts, let us say like Packley scripts, how you are executing, or REST API scripts. So definitely you should have a PowerShell knowledge if you are looking for a developer role in order to develop those scripts, executing those API scripts. If you are looking for an implementation engineer and a support level engineer, then it is not required. So far in our training, whatever we have covered, we haven't seen any kind of scripting knowledge. Am I correct or wrong? It depends upon the role that you are looking for. So if you are looking for a developer role, then definitely you should have a PowerShell knowledge. Along with the PowerShell scripting, you should have auto IT scripts for PSM, developing PSM connection components. Okay. Next, how much systems admin knowledge is required? I don't think any system admin knowledge is required. So far in my training, I have placed n number of candidates in the market with a zero knowledge, who is having who don't have any knowledge on the network side or admin knowledge. Okay, so CyberArk is such a kind of tool where we can easily learn the things. It's a kind of administration tasks. So far, whatever we discussed, the topics are everyone can easily understand without having any admin kind of knowledge. Okay, it's basically there is no scripting involved and no need to learn any specific coding or languaging. It's basically kind of administration tool where we can learn easily. How it can be integrated with IAM sale point. So there is specific documentation which I showed you, sale point integration with CyberArk. So we need to follow that documentation if at all we want to integrate CyberArk with SailPoint. Any blogs or podcasts that would help educate us more. Okay. So I would say the CyberArk docs.cyberark.com. This is available for general public, for all the people, docs.cyberark.com. You will get everything here, including implementation, architecture, designing, okay, integrations, etc. I would recommend to refer this docs.cyberark.com. That is the general blog or articles, whatever CyberArk releases, notifications, everything we can see in the docs.cyberark.com. Next, any user group of blogs that have real-time issues being discussed. See here, if you are having access to technical community, CyberArk technical community, so this will be only available to partners, CyberArk technical community, or to the customers. Okay, so CyberArk technical community. In CyberArk technical community, you will have a lot of discussions. Means whenever any particular user faced an issue, they will discuss the topic here, and CyberArk will release some article. What is the cause for that issue and what is the solution that they need to apply. Okay, so that we can refer if we are having access to the technical community. Can you tell us more about endpoints password automation? So endpoints password automation, basically we don't will what we say, we don't manage the passwords manually. Our CPM is going to manage those passwords automatically. So we have seen in the policy like password policy, what we can say, required password change for every X days, let us say 30 days. So CPM is going to take care of the automation related to passwords. So if you want, I can just show you an example on one of our accounts. Let us say administrator account. Manually I'm showing you the automation. So I'm in the account details page. I'm just clicking on verify password. Okay, just I'm trying to verify. So in the back end, this account is scheduled for immediate verification. In the back end, our CPM is logging on to this machine, Windows Target Server, and it is trying to verify the password of this administrator privileged account on 10.0.0.10 server. Okay, let us see the result. This will take time. This account is scheduled for immediate verification. So to speed up the process, I'll just restart the CyberArk CPM service. CyberArk password manager service restart. So this will speed up the process. I'll just refresh this account. So it is locked in the sense it is not related to check-in, check-out. It is locked in the sense now CPM is on the target server. We can assume that CPM reached the target server to perform its action. Refresh. In the backend, password manager user is responsible. Failed to verify password, timeout alert. Okay, let us push one more time. Okay, so this is not reachable 10.0.0.10. So that's why we are getting the timeout elapsed. Okay, this is related to firewall thing. So this is how to, if you want to check the automation, just you need to click on verify, change or reconcile. Okay, if you click on change password, let us say change password by CPM immediately, this will generate some random password on the target server and it will bring back and store the same password on the vault. This is the manual method. But if we set the password policy like 30 days or 60 days, so after 30 days, it will automatically, CPM will automatically rotate the password. We don't need to manually come here and click on change or verify. Okay. Can we put a strategy to survive on the job for 6 months? Yes, we can do. We can do. So whatever the knowledge that I have shared with you is related to the core PaaS solution. Okay. So with this knowledge, you will have a basic idea about this tool. What is this tool and how we are going to manage privileged accounts? What is the functionality of each component in CyberArk? Okay. So you can definitely go with this knowledge and go for a support role as well as the implementation engineer roles, not for the developer roles. Okay, because we have not discussed anything related to the scripting or related to the connection components, etc. So with this knowledge, you can basically look for implementation projects and support level projects. Right. So with this, I'm going to conclude my training sessions. I hope you enjoyed my sessions and you gathered at least 60% of the knowledge that I discussed so far. I'm not saying it's 100%, okay, because we are humans, right? And any questions, please reach out to Meta Origin or Rakesh and stay in touch with me. And if you need any help, please let me know so that they will contact me. And I am going to share those documents as well, whatever you guys requested regarding the password upload utility and some other documents as well. I'll share it with them and they will share it with you guys. Okay. Thank you all for the questions and for the time that you have spent on learning the CyberArk tool. If you need any kind of support, please reach out to Meta Origin or Rakesh and stay in touch with me. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vishnu.
Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah, please welcome. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.